Hello, my name is Chloe, welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you a try a chapter video. So I think I'm going to have a few of these videos coming to you over the next couple of months, maybe if I spread it out, because I did a massive unboxing last year where I got nearly 100 adult books. Since then I have thrown a lot out, but there are a few I've kept that I'm running out of space. I need the space on my bookshelves, so I'm going to be reading the first chapter of them to see whether I want to continue with it or whether I'm going to unhaul them. So these are mainly thrillers, if not all of them, but I've just picked 5 for today that I'm going to read the first chapter of. So the first book I have here is The Farm by Tom Rob Smith. I think I'm just going to have to read a bit for you because I have no idea myself what this is about. And it's one of those ones without a blurb on the back. That is excellent. Your mother, she's not well. She's been imagining things, terrible, terrible things. Everything that man has told you is a lie. I'm not mad, I need the police. None of what she claims is real. If you refuse to believe me, I will no longer consider you my son. So this is definitely some sort of mystery, thrillery style book. I don't know how long the first chapter is of this book. Maybe I'll look at that in a minute. The next book I'm going to be trying a chapter of is The Guardians by Andrew Piper. This is, there were 4 of them, childhood friends, but a sudden death has forced the remaining 3 to confront the one thing they've been trying to forget for the last 25 years, the Thurman house. As they slip uneasily back into the oppressive atmosphere of their shared past, they realise they cannot escape the brutal murder that haunted their childhood. Again, mystery, thrillery style read, which aren't generally my cup of tea, so there's a lot here. Now we have An Anatomy of a Disappearance by Hisham Matar. This is in Egypt, Nuri, a teenage boy, falls in love with Mona, the woman his father will marry. Consumed with longing, Nuri wants to get his father out of the way to take his place in Mona's heart. But when his father disappears, Nuri regrets what he wished for. Alone, he and Mona search desperately for the man they both love, only for Nuri to discover a silence he cannot break and unmanageable secrets his father never wanted him to know. So that is, again, it's a little bit different. But I guess there is like a mystery side to it. So that's number 3. My arm is really hurting now. I did buy a proper camera and tripod. And then I'm just struggling trying to get the camera to do what I want it to do, which is just to stop trying to focus, because the noise of it focusing takes over on the video. That's all you can hear. So you might have to get a view like this from now on, because I think my arm is about to drop off. Okay, right. Now we have Tiger Lily's Orchids by Ruth Rendell. This says, when Stuart Font decides to throw a housewarming party in his new flat, he invites all the people in his building. After some deliberation, he even includes the unpleasant caretaker and his wife. There are a few other genuine friends on the list, but he definitely does not want to introduce his girlfriend Claudia, as that might involve asking her husband. The party will be one everyone remembers, but not for the right reasons. All the occupants of Litchfield House are about to experience a dramatic change in their lives. So, again, mystery, thrillery style book. And finally, we have The 2 Deaths of Daniel Hayes by Marcus Saki. You waking on a Maine beach, naked, half-drowned, and very, very cold. Your name is Daniel Hayes, at least you think it is. That's the name on the insurance card you find in the BMW parked near you. How did you get here and why? All you remember is a woman's face, so you set off to the place you might find her. But this raises the most chilling question of all. What will you find when you get there? So that's number 5. So the plan for this morning is to read the first chapter of each of these. I'm going to start with Tiger Lily's Orchids because that's the only one I didn't throw beneath me, so it's the easier one to grab right now. Oh god, the pages are all falling out. This is a very broken book. But the first chapter is only 14 pages. So I'm going to get cracking on that now and let you know how I get on. Okay, so I actually read 2 chapters. So I'm now on page 30. So obviously just done a little slither at the front there. Sort of boring. There's so many different perspectives. The main one I like, Stuart Font, who is the one deciding to throw a house party. But yeah, apart from that, it's a little bit boring. I'm gonna make up my mind what to do with it when I've read the others, because if I'm more in, like, I did read 2 chapters, mainly because I didn't get anything I wanted from the first, and then it was probably, 30 pages is the second chapter, so that could easily have been 1 chapter in another book. I'll see what I think after I've read some of the others, because if this is like my favourite out of them, then obviously I'll keep it, but it wasn't anything too impressive. So next I will read, The Two Deaths of Daniel Hayes, and see what I think of this one. Right, I still haven't moved because I've just read the first chapter of this, which was 36 pages, so again, just a little chunk, but it is noticeable. This did feel like a long chapter. It's basically just this guy, Daniel, waking up naked on a beach, finding a car, realising it's got a gun in it and some dirty clothes. He puts the clothes on, he checks in to a hotel, and that's pretty much what happens. I know it's just in 1 chapter, but it was just sort of irritating. And I did check Goodreads before turning the camera on, and I've seen a few people say that the first chapter deserves 4 stars, but then it just tails off into madness. So yeah, I'm not too impressed with this. I don't think this is going to make the cut of keeping the books, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I don't see myself sitting down and reading that much more of this story. It didn't appeal to me that much. So I think I'm going to go and make a cup of tea and then get started on Anatomy of a Disappearance. This is only a short book, really, so we will see what I think of the first chapter of that one. But yeah, I definitely need a cup of tea. Actually, look at how big the font is. That is amazing. Right, this one's going to be a quick one, but yeah, cup of tea first. So I've just read the first chapter, which is 3 pages long, so I'm going to read a little more. I think it takes you up to about 20 pages if you read the first 3 chapters. That might be a plan, but already from those first 3 pages, it's like the whole thing is written trying to sound cleverer than it is, just like everything's trying to sound a bit fancy. And I know that doesn't make sense when I'm saying it out loud, but to me, I know what I mean. But where there's too many words in a sentence for what they're trying to say. But that could be they're trying to bring you in chapter 1 and then it goes back to normal. But yeah, I'm going to read a good 20 odd pages. I've read 30 the first, then 36. So it'd be silly to stop on page 3. So I'll keep reading. Okay, so I actually read 4 whole chapters. So I'm now on page 25. So there is a noticeable dent in the front. It's weird. So all I've picked out so far is that there's a young boy, he's 12, and he's gone on holiday with his dad after his mother's death. And there's a younger woman by the swimming pool. He picks a thorn out of her toe, because that's normal. Finds her hotel room and sits in it while she's in the shower. And then this girl's sort of seeing his dad, but sort of seeing him. Really weird. For that reason, I'm keeping it, and I sort of just want to see what happens. I did check Goodreads, and when I was saying a second ago that it was a bit there were too many words, someone described it as lyrical, and I sort of think that's what I mean, where there's just too much that you don't need to explain things in 5 different words, just tell me what's going on. But yeah, so I'm going to keep this one. And do you know what? Maybe even put it on my shelf to read after the ones I was already planning to read. I do want to get this read and see what's going on. It is strangely intriguing. Next up is The Guardians by Andrew Piper. I do have my cup of tea, but it took me less. So I was just absolutely terrified. I can't say the name of the device that just started speaking to me because she will set off again. But I'm the only one home. And she's decided to answer questions that I haven't asked, which creeps me out. Anyway, I'm going to read this next and see what I think. I haven't looked at the size of the chapters yet, but I will be back to you in a few minutes to tell you. Okay, so I read the first. There are chapters and memory diary entries. So I read the first memory diary and the first chapter, and sad to say, this is going to have to go. Maybe it might be a lovely book, but the reason that he is writing a diary is he's been diagnosed with Parkinson's, and is sort of explaining how it's going to slowly kill him, and just the way he describes it. And within the last year, I did lose someone very, very close to me because of Parkinson's, and just the way he talks about it, I can't entertain, and it just upset me. I had to take a quick break like 3 pages in. So it's not going to be something that I keep around. This is going to have to go purely for that reason. If I could apologise to the author, I would, but it's just not, no, can't read it. So that means the 5th and final book I'm going to be picking up is The Farm by Tom Rob Smith, with a sort of delusional but maybe not delusional mother, and that's all I can really get from it from the back. So I'm going to read the first chapter of this and then we will wrap up on the video. Right, and that's that. I did read a single chapter of The Farm, which took me to about 25 pages. Exactly, 25 pages. And I am intrigued. It's definitely not something I'd normally read, but the whole premise was really interesting. So is his name Daniel? I'm getting everyone's name confused. I'm sure there's been 2 Daniels. What's this guy's name? Don't even know. It is Daniel, yeah. I think 3 of these books have had a main character called Daniel. They have. Wow. So he gets a call from his dad, who is living in Sweden with his mom. They've retired and moved onto a farm, to say that he has checked his mom into an asylum and that she's crazy. So Daniel decides to get on a plane over there to go and see what's happening. But as he is about to get on the plane, his mom calls, and she has got herself out of the asylum and she is getting on a plane to London. So he meets her at Heathrow and takes her back to his apartment and is trying to find out what's going on. Mixed in with this, we have the fact that Daniel is gay and his parents don't know. So he is living with his boyfriend Mark, and they have no idea of this. So he has come back to a flat that he pretends he shares with a roommate, when really he just lives with his boyfriend and has done for years. So this is very interesting. I'm intrigued. I'm keeping it. I might not pick it up anytime soon, but it's definitely something that when an opportunity arises, potentially just in a readathon, or if I'm not... Oh, got really bad hiccups. Okay, good. Potentially in a readathon, or if I'm just not interested in anything on my shelves at that current moment in time and want to read this, then I'm holding on to it. I've also just noticed my nails sort of match the name. Wow. Right, anyway, so keeping The Farm. I'm also going to keep Anatomy of a Disappearance. Might put this on my I've got a section of my shelves now, not up here under my desk, where I'm keeping like the 4 next books I want to read. So I might even add it to that, because I do want to read it really, really soon. I'm also going to keep Tiger Lily's Orchids. I'm not 100% dying to read this, but it is something, it sounds like the sort of book that I will get some enjoyment out of. It doesn't sound awful. But yeah, it seems like something that if for any reason, I don't know, there could be a sort of readathon reason I'd need to pick this up. It does sound doable and I would enjoy it to some degree. So I'm getting rid of, I'm dropping all the books, I'm getting rid of The Guardians by Andrew Piper, purely for the Parkinson's comments. I'm not going to put myself through that if it's an option, so I'm just going to get rid of it. And also The 2 Deaths of Daniel Hayes. I just didn't enjoy the first chapter of this. It did not appeal to me at all. So out of 5 books, I'm keeping 3. I do have a couple more books to get through. I think I could do 2 more of these videos, so let me know if that's something that you'd want to see. Otherwise, I will just do this in private and unhaul my books that way. But yeah, I am getting to the bottom of the adult books I hauled, which is very exciting to me. So I have more shelf space to fill with books I actually really want to read. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.